Hello, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Leadership Town Hall on African Town Hall Television. I am Bright Adesina, and from Abuja studio, I'll be presenting with our regular face, Francis Nmeribe. Francis Nmeribe, good morning.
Good morning, Bright. Hope your day is well.
Yes, and hope your weekend went well.
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
Okay, welcome Africa, everywhere you are. This is Leadership Hall once again. And on today's edition, we'll be discussing some success tips and bring to you experts who will share live experience on how he was able to maneuver his way and get to where he is today. Remember, as the program is going on, you can leave your chat by asking inspired questions. Just type it on the chat bar, and once we see it, we'll pump it up and give answer to it. While typing your message, please be very, very careful of defamatory statement. Our guest this morning on the show is Nkoro Nkoro. Is he on? If he's on, you please bring him to the show. We welcome him.
We are still expecting Nkoro on board, and as we look forward to him, we might have to talk a few things about leadership in Africa today. We are struggling with the paucity of leadership. We are struggling with the kind of leaders who are not leaders, who can only be called rulers. And the wonder and the worry of some of us who wish that the best should happen to Africa is that we should all be in a position to have an Africa that will change the course of things. So we are looking forward to the opportunity to share leadership experiences, growing experiences with Nkoro today. We are expecting him, and if he's hearing us, we invite him to please come on board. And he should just click the link that has been sent to him, and he will be in our studios, and all will be well.
Okay. Last week, you must have seen a lot that have happened in the political system of Nigeria, ranging from the hike in petroleum and that of sugar and flour. If you have also seen, you must have noticed that there was another hike in electricity and so many other things. And while I was going through it as a part of African youth who have good motive for the nation, I felt very bit sad for Nigerians and her youth. I didn't know whether you saw those headliners last week. Were you able to go through them?
Yes, I saw those headlines, and as usual, many people are making comments that are clearly indicative of the big challenge it is for the whole of Africa. And we are also seeing people who are cracking jokes on all those things. And, comedians always take to the street on when situations like this come up. This is what I call rulership somersault. People present themselves with a picture of being able to lead, and then they are given mandates, and all of a sudden, or because they don't know what to do, actually, they were merely posing in the first place. All we get is somersaults of one somersault from one somersault to another. And at the end of the day, they put the whole country in confusion. The whole thing, every act they do affects the economy. And then all this worsen the situation of the country. So those are what I call leadership somersault, because their original presentation is that they are going to do better than others, and yet they are not. So when situations are like that, it's embarrassing to the whole people and country. I don't know what you feel about the continuing leadership somersault in this country, Pride.
The truth is that when people are very desperate, I keep saying it, if one is very desperate of getting power, he doesn't understand what it entails to be a good leader. The only thing written on his brain or her brain is desperation. And once he gets there, he doesn't know, he or she doesn't know his or her left hand or right. He just begin to do whatever advice he or she gets and whatever that just come up in the person's eyes after sleeping and waking up in the morning. To be very honest, I posted on my Facebook and I made it clear. One might call it myopic, one might call it anything, but the truth of the nation is that this current situation we are in Nigeria, as a rising generation and as a person who have looked at my professional age till this time, I will tell you that is the worst system so far, and I owe no one apology for that. And this is why in African Town Hall, via the Leadership Hall, we keep clamoring and calling on youth to please come and rise up, that it is time for them to take Africa to the next level. Because at this point in time, I'm not seeing any person that is capable of raising Nigeria up. I have to be honest with you. I'm not seeing any person from both the ruling party and the opposition party. There is nobody there I'm seeing that can take Nigeria to where they are. Because I think they are all less concerned, whether everything is up, whether you buy a liter of fuel at the rate of 1,000, 1 million, it really doesn't bother them. This is because the government or whatever that is financing them will actually provide it. So they are not even after what an average youth out there who cannot purchase bread when it was sold at the rate of 80 naira would do. Now that bread of 80 naira is being placed for sale at the rate of 150. So I keep asking you to please come up. It's our time we speak. It's our time our voice should be heard. It's our time we begin to stand up and tell these people, hey, we are no longer interested in all this nonsense you're doing. Enough is enough. I was chatting with somebody privately last week, and the person was, he said I was myopic anyway. And in our long conversation, despite that he's an elderly person, I found out that he's even more myopic than I was. So what I did was this. I posted on my Facebook wall, I said, I'm not going to reply your message privately again. This time around, I will drag you to the public so that you start hearing opinions of people. Because most times, when most of them are seated in comfortable government appointment or work, and government fits their bills, they don't really know what youth out there is going through. And I think it's our time to put the president himself on hot seat, and youth should give him or should ask him questions the way it is in their heart. There is what we call raw question and there is what we call refined questions. When questions are raw, they just come out from your heart the way they are, the way they are burning you, the way they are disturbing you, the way they are making things unbearable for you. But when they are redefined, you're trying to pity, you're trying to consider, you're trying to buy favor. Let youth come out and ask raw questions that is really disturbing them. I think when they do that, they know that we've taken for granted so far, and we no longer fools.
Yes, what I have to tell you is that the
Are you there?
Yes, the comment you made on the man, the comment you made is not something to be worried about. That is the truth. And personally, I believe that the truth needs to be told at all times, regardless of what it will bring, regardless of what challenges anybody might feel about it. Because if the truth is not told, then we will continue to grope. We'll continue to grope and have problems. So when that is happening, when that is our situation, then it's a big struggle for the whole world, for all of us. And when the repercussions start coming, everyone will lose. That is the challenge. So when you have opportunity, please speak up. It is because we are not speaking, that is why what is happening is happening.
Okay, while going ahead to the broadcast this morning, Nkoro has already joined us. Good morning and welcome you to the show.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you for welcoming me to the show.
Okay, thank you. You are joining, you're already in the Leadership Hall of the African Town Hall Television. And our youth, a rising generation out there have been waiting for some times. And now you are here. I'm sure wherever they are, they must have jumped on their feet and say, yes, that is the man. Thank you once again for joining us. Today's discussion is going to be on success tips, just like we said earlier on. And the awaited guest is already here to share with us life experience pertaining to how he got to wherever he is today. Remember, a growing tree did not come up in a day. It started somewhere. And to let you know who is on the ground, Mr. Nkoro, please, if I didn't really get the name well, when it's time for you to talk, you just sound it to the hearing of the youth. Is the CEO of Profbonny International. And of course, he's a certified senior professional member with the Institute of Information Management Africa, which is IIMA, and is a member of Internet Society. And over 11 years, he has experience as system officer with management information system FADAMA project that is assisted by World Bank assisted. He is a graduate of bachelor degree of accounting, and he's also a graduate of a bachelor degree in applied technology. Thank you again for joining us. I don't know if from the few background I just gave about you, there's something I said that is not okay, or what I didn't say that is about you. Our audience would love to hear from you. Will you mind telling us a little bit more about yourself apart from what I just read about you?
Okay, thank you once again for welcoming me to this live broadcast show. As you just said, my name is Nkuru, Esther Nkuru. Okay, I have a family of three kids, one boy and two girls. I came from a background that is not all that well to do per se, but because of the background, helped me to kind of like trying to become somebody and make my family become proud. As you said, I have a bachelor degree in accounting and also have a second degree, which I'm currently doing in applied technology. I have experience over 11 years as a management information system officer with FADAMA, that's a World Bank project, which is into agriculture. And at the same time, I'm a CEO of Profbonny International, who is into ICT, which is actually to help those who are into ICT environment to solve their problems as we could encounter in our society today. Okay. Okay.
Okay, thank you for joining us in Leadership Hall. We are currently with Nkoro sharing life experience on how he got to the place he is. Just leave your question at the chat bar, and once we see it, we'll pull it up, and he will answer your question. While typing, remember to be very careful of a defamatory statement. Okay, now let me get to you, our beloved guest. Few days back, attention. You said hard work, respect, and learning new skills while still pursuing your long-term dream goal are one of the few tips that aided you to where you were today. Will you mind expatiating that for our rising generation so that they can pick something from it?
Oh, okay. That reminds me about one of the a quote written by one of an author that says that um, politics itself is not bad. It's not the way we look at it. But politics is an avenue where you take advantage of the opportunity to have around you. What am I trying to say in essence? Now, respect, humility, hard work are really one of those things that help us to grow. I work in an environment where, although beside that, I came from a Christian background where I'm being taught that hard work really pays. And because of that, helped me to know that wherever I find myself, I need to humble myself because where I'm working at that point of time is not really where it will lead me to greatness. But the environment I find myself will help me to prepare myself to become great in other environments. Now, I've learned to respect people because respect itself helps you to grow. Because the people that you work with are actually the people that will help you in future to become what you can become in life. If you tend to be kind of a disrespectful person, you're not humble, you're not hardworking, I don't think you can actually grow to anywhere. Okay. Right.
Okay,
Hello?
that's an interesting point you have made there. As you strive for whatever you are doing in life, we need a sense of respect, hard work to be able to achieve.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, let me ask you this question. You know, in every point in time of a man's life, there comes a time he or the person will be attached to a boss, either an apprentice or an errand boy to learn something. And at that process, the person might be a victim of serving an ungrateful person. And I don't think there's any successful man in this world who have not served an ungrateful being before. Maybe your case might be exceptional, but have you ever served ungrateful boss? And if yes, how humble were you, and how were you able to scale through, still getting what you intended to get from that person?
Okay, if I will respond to that, what I also understand is that in life is when you have this back of your mind, begin with the end in mind. Okay, it actually prepare you to face any challenges that you encounter in life. I've had a series of encounter with ungrateful bosses around me, but one of the things that have actually helped me is that I've had this in my mind that begin with the end in mind. Already know what this person is, and because you already know what the person's weaknesses and challenges are, it prepares you and gives you room to know how to face and respond to the person's ungratefulness. I've had series of them, but because of how I've looked at them, and I also know that in life you're bound to face challenges. And so if you already know that you're bound to face challenges and already know the person's weakness, it helps you to prepare your mind on how to work with this particular person. And also know that even if I'm working with that particular person, this is not my end, but I know that this is actually a step to my end. And so if I at any point of time want to react in an ungrateful way, on a mannered way, I think it actually affects my growth. And so knowing this in the back of my mind would help me to know what to do, to be calm, to be respectful. Because most time I also know that sometimes they might do this thing without actually knowing that they're actually hurting some other person. And that's what I just have to say.
Okay, if you're watching us, this is a leadership hall on African Town Hall Television Live with Mr. Nkoro, who is an entrepreneur, someone who have gotten to where he is by having some values in his life. And these moral values are respect, hard work, and of course, learning new skills while still pushing long-term goal. From Abuja studio, I know that Francis Nmeribe have some questions to ask you. But before I hand to him, I will invite you that is green to please, if you have any question for him, just put it at the chat bar. As soon as we see it, we'll pull it up and he will respond to it respectively. Francis Nmeribe, do you have question for our guest?
Yes, I do. I do. Mr. Nkoro, one thing I noticed is that you work in a place where you are paid salaries or wages, and then you have a business and you have additional skills. What motivated you to build a business, a side business, and then work to acquire several skills to support your life? I would like to know the motivations of your life in doing that.
Oh, that's a very interesting. That's very interesting. Oh, like I said, I'm skilled in ICT, okay, and almost all the environment that I find myself, I've always helped people to solve their problems, and I've always been solving this problem without any reward attached to it. But this actually happened in 2015, if I'm not mistaken, where I was currently working. We're actually having some issues where the government refused to pay the counterpart funding for them to pay the staff allowance. Now, it began to affect me and my family. And I said, what could I actually do? I've been helping people, but I would continue to help people without actually any reward. At this point, I've not registered my business. It now dawned on me that if I keep on depending on paid job, it's going to affect me. I need to diverse. And so at this point, I had to register my business. Though it wasn't easy for me at that point of time. Even to even eat at some point was a difficult issue. So I began to see how I can reach out to those people and I have been solving their problems. And before I know it, I begin to have clients, customers. And it will be surprising to inform you that where I'm working currently, even though I'm not being paid for more than 3 years now, I've not been paid. Now, if I had not drawn my attention to a different angle to do what I like doing, in a business environment, I don't think I would have been surviving by now. Even as I speak to you, I'm still yet to be paid. So if I had not digressed to go into what I love doing, to have an income, I don't think my family would have been what they are today. And well, what I'm trying to let us also know is that we don't really need to depend on a paid job. If I actually have my way, I would actually want to be to work on my own and not to depend on somebody. Because most time you can be cheated. You put more of your effort and then you're being paid less. But if you can work as a boss on your own, you can decide to get what you want. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I mean, that is a great point there, and you have struck on something that aligns clearly well with some of the corporate social responsibility activities of the town hall communication company that set up the African Town Hall TV. One of our social responsibility activities is to help the rising generation acquire personal development, which is to have increased awareness of their capacities, capabilities, their opportunities and skills. That is just what you have done. And then with that increased awareness, they can pursue personal empowerment. In other ways, have other sources of income, have resources coming to them from the skills of their hands. And then on being able to do that, then they can have the power required to contribute to leadership in the right sense. That strikes a good chord with us, with our organization's philosophies and principles, and we are glad to be able to share that on the in front of the world today. Now, beginning these kind of things are not usually very easy. Are there some things you pass through that you think if someone learns about them today in building your own business, then it will encourage them to continue, should they at some point begin to have challenges?
Well, what I would like to say is that things don't just come easy. It requires hard work. It requires sacrifice, and it also requires you to accept criticism. They must always come, and those criticisms are there to help you to become a better person in life. Well, today, most people will look at me and say, Uncle is a big man, he's driving car, he's doing this and that and that. But if I should begin to tell you the line that I've told, most people will not want to go to. But I will stand here to say that it's good for us to do it, even if it requires you, if you have passion in doing what you think other people don't feel like doing, even if it requires you to do odd jobs. I'm sorry using this word, to carry feces on the road. Go ahead and do it. So long as you have passion in doing it, even if people don't feel comfortable about it, but I will tell you, if you keep on doing that, you're in the process of developing yourself the more, because the more you learn, the more you help yourself to know more other things that you wouldn't have known. Okay, now keep on doing them, because at the end of the day, people will come after you to start seeking for your services. But today in the world, we see a lot of people, young ones, who always feel that things should just fall on their table. It's not possible. You must work. You must sacrifice. You must always take advantage of every opportunity that you have. And like, as you could see me, I just finished one of the scholarship I had with Faith Foundation in collaboration with Facebook about last week ago. Now that is to also help me boost my leadership, boost my entrepreneurship in terms of digital social media marketing. And that worth about 400,000 naira. Now, whenever I see any opportunity, I try to make use of them. Apart from what I've shared with you about one of the things that I've learned, I've attended so many seminars, so many workshops, trainings that have taken me outside the country, several other countries. But I'm this kind of person that I don't like trying to showcase myself. I like showcasing myself in what I do, not trying to see them. But I like trying to depict what you think I can do. And that what speaks for me. And that what has actually helped me, even in my environment, wherever I find myself. And that's why, to some extent, you could look at my name, Profbonny International, where in my secondary school years of how I've always tried to help people, to make people feel happy. I realized that people just end up calling me Prof. Prof, and that has also been helping me to boost my morale, to always make sure that I depict what that name stands for. Even though I'm not a prof academically, but if you find me around you, you end up realizing that prof what I am. Okay, and that's what entails me in my business to name it Profbonny. Now, Bonny itself is an English word that stands for splendid, good, and happy. And I decided to just add that word prof to Bonny. And as you could see, international, why I use that word international, because I do know that over time I could grow. And when I grow, I don't have to go and change the name again. Already the name has stands for me. And I hope that one day I could be able to be an entrepreneur that could influence the world, not just in my state, my country, but in the world. And so it's good for us to be hardworking. It's good for us to face criticism. It always comes. And it's also good for us to know that at any point of time, there will be challenges. Don't feel bad about it, but just be comfortable that those things are actually coming to you for you to know that there's something that the Lord wants you to learn. Okay. I do know that there is no challenges that the Lord will give us to do the Lord Himself will not prepare a way to help us accomplish those things. I know with all my heart that when we are hardworking, we are focused. And then that reminds me to talk about what we call the thinking error, which is not actually common with us in these days. You know, we are always being distracted with a lot of things around us because we are not focused. We don't have aims. And that's what entails what we call the thinking errors. You have a plan to do something. You can't just expect that I want to buy a car and just the car will just come to you. No, you have to be focused. There are certain things you have to put in place. You have to study, you have to go to school, have quality education, keep on learning. The more it does this, the more it helps you to be focused and not to be distracted by unwanted things that are around you. Sometimes one of the things I've observed about our young ones is because they are always being distracted by the opposite sex. They want to appear to be liked by the woman. I remembered growing up with my uncle, when in environment, as a growing up child, it's always good for you to kind of like want to feel like you're the boss. Oh, you have grown. So there are certain things you don't have to do. But I saw myself in a compound where I have to cook in a firewood. Even when some ladies are passing me by, I know some cases some people will not want to do that. They want to show up, oh, that they are grown up. But I didn't care about that because I don't think women at that time were my problem. At that time, I needed to learn something. I needed to do what I think I can do. If any woman likes you and loves you, it will love you for who you are. And that's why to me today, even if I approach any woman, I don't tend to start trying to how do you call it? Trying to tell the person who I'm not. I tell you who I am. I don't have money and I don't like taking it out. If you like me, like me. If you don't, I'm okay. I don't want to pretend. And that's what to some extent that have actually helped me. I've faced a lot of challenges, even in my environment where I worked. People knows me to be someone that always very disciplined and with integrity. At some point, they've tried to tempt me. But one of the things I've come to realize is that when you stand your ground for what you know to be true, people will defend you tomorrow because they know that you have an integrity. Today, I'm still being known for that. Thank you so much.
That is great. Brian, do you have a follow-up there before I bring up some other issues?
Okay, I think you have made clear one of the things, or should I say that most of the things we are using this platform to inculcate in the heart of the rising generation. Now, in African Town Hall TV, Leadership Hall precisely, our aim is not just to see youth become successful. Now, our aim is to see how they can use this success coupled with their talents to rebirth Africa politically. And when we say politically, we are talking about the government aspects, where leadership from the top down to the grassroots is occupied by all African youth who have business ideas, initiative, who are not there for just money making sake, but who have already attained their peak of career and got to those positions, knowing that, oh, at this point in time, they are no longer interested about wealth, they're interested about development. Now, seeing that you are already getting there, do you have any plan Or have you done anything to contribute to the political system of Africa, precisely your own country? And do you have any future ambition of any of these political parties? Do you have anything like that that you want to share with us?
I'm one of those persons who have never liked to join politics, but I will always love to listen to them and to kind of like give um, knowledge to my own secular, the way I look at things and the way it's supposed to be. I've never been involved in politics. I have never voted before. But I think one of the first time I voted, I think was when 2015. Unfortunately for me, in 2019, I don't just know how it comes about. I was privileged to be nominated as a coordinator in Cross River State in one of the groups in Atiku organization called Atiku B Presidential Support Group, which was a nationwide group. And I was one of a coordinator in Cross River State. I think that also afforded me the opportunity to also contribute to the political system in the country. But beside that, I've been a support to my community. You know, I like development. I like youth development. As I speak to you, I'm involved in some organization in my community where I'm one of the board members. Even as I speak to you right now, you have an issue in my community which I've been nominated in crossover. You know, we have different people in diaspora, so we've been nominated to go over there to go and mediate over these issues. I think that actually shows how much relevance I am to the society. But I must start from my community, and that's why I've been trying to see how I can um, give my support to the things that I know. And I think they've been appreciative of that. And most times, whenever there are issues, they always call upon me to contribute. Sometimes it might not really have to do with the money, but your knowledge, your skill can also contribute in developing your community and your society at large. And I speak to you right now to the same organization that I was with as in 2019. I was privileged, even as I speak yesterday, I was called again that I need to be a coordinator in one of the NGOs in Cross River State that has to do with, you could remember today we are talking about pandemic, coronavirus. And so I've been nominated as one of the coordinator in Cross River State to stand in for the organization in the country. And so you could see that uh, my knowledge, my skills, my everything about me is actually being there to help people develop their society. I think if I wasn't, I don't think they would just sit down there and call me. And that actually reminds me, it pays for you to work in your growing years because whatever you do in your growing years will pave a way for you to give you opportunities, even if you don't ask for. It is what you do that will bring you out. There's people calling you. You don't have to go and bribe people. And I also speak to you. Even we are working today, I didn't meet anybody to go and bribe anybody. But because of the skill that I already prepared myself, I started my secondary school in a commercial school where I taught writing, accounting, and all those things. And from there, I started developing myself in computers, never knowing that all the things that I was doing was preparing me for a higher thing ahead of me. I went for an interview where we had two graduates, even one of them who read computer science as a graduate. But at that point, I wasn't a graduate, but I was still undergraduate. But it's interesting to know that because I've started doing this thing before now, it paved a way for me to even excel above those who even graduate. So I must say that it's good for us to learn skills, irrespective of whatever career that we're pursuing. And it was this same skill that I learned that helped me to get the job that I have today, that even helped me to even complete my education, and that even helped me become a family that I have today. So most times, the education that we always think of, some of our youth always want to pursue. They don't want to think of the skill that they want. Well, I also want to say that while I was learning this skill at some point, it wasn't easy for me. I looked for job everywhere. At some point, I was like, am I really sure that what I learned is a skill? Because I wasn't getting any job at that point. But still then, I was still assured that I shouldn't relent. I should keep on. Before I know it, I saw myself where I never thought I would be. I wasn't a graduate, but I had a job of a graduate work.
Okay,
And that's what I'm working to today.
I will just start in there because of time. Thank you.
Okay.
But I will want to ask you a yes or no question before my colleague from Abuja studio will ask you his final question. Now, a yes or no question, then I will say what I want to say. Do you believe that readers are leaders?
Yes, of course. Yes, I do. I do. I think as a secondary school child, I used to read a lot. I read so much, and that's why
Okay.
it actually helped me to become what I am
Now
today.
this is what is a yes. It's a yes.
Hello? I can't hear you.
Okay, thank you. It's actually a yes or no answer, but this is what we want you to do. Okay, this is what we want you to do. We appreciate you so much. We and we are grateful for that. Now, in African Town Hall, we have a big package project that we have for targeted youth out there, and that is our ebook club. So, at your own time, we are giving you official invitation to visit our website at www.theafricantownhall.com and then go through our ebook club and see how you can use the resources there to help those youths that are around you. Francis Nmeribe will ask his last question while we round up. Francis Nmeribe.
Okay, thank you. This has been a great pleasure for us at African Town Hall Online TV to be with you, Mr. Nkoro. The reason is that the line of your thought, the pursuit, your career pursuit, your preparation align very much with the principles and standards and the focus of the Town Hall Communication Company and these corporate social responsibility programs like the Project 30 Before 30, where we are helping the young adults and the youth, the rising generations of Africa, to be able to take their place in the scheme of things. We, in our mind, we believe that learning, acquisition of skills, and reading, which will develop our minds, are critical to leadership. Now, do you have a thought on what the rising generation can begin to do right now, today? Maybe cap that in a few words within a minute, what they can do today to prepare themselves for the future of Africa, for the Africa we are all hoping for. Do you have thoughts on that you can share with them in a minute?
They should learn a skill. They should be hardworking. They should be respectful. They should be humble and love those around them.
That is beautiful. Thank you very much. Bright, over to you for rounding up.
Thank you so much for being here. Initially, I was calling it Profbonny, maybe because of the spelling I got from here. It's actually Profbonny International. And it is really a prof because with what you've said so far, one can see that, yes, you have gotten where you are through hard work, respect, and of course, learning skills, which are your morals. Thank you for joining us on this show this morning. We hope to have you in our forthcoming or other edition. This is African Town Hall TV Leadership Hall, precisely, and we do it here every day from the hour of 8 a.m. to before 9 o'clock, just a 30-40 minutes program. And we are very, very grateful for you watching. And after this program is off, we are going to immediately start the watch party. And if you are not able to join us from the beginning, you can just learn more from our guests of the day today. Remember, our website is www.theafricantownhall.com. And when you enter there, you see a lot of our package. Most especially is our ebook club package that is specially designed for you. I am Bright Remy Additional outside our Abuja studio this morning. And in the Abuja studio is Francis Nmeribe that hosted you this morning with our guest, Nkoro. Many thanks for watching. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nkoro. Have a great week.
All right. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. On African Town Hall today, it has been a plump and pleasing pleasure to be with you again, Bright. Thank you for all you do to make these things work. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Okay.